Now, when it comes to Drake, Young Thug, and so many other trash rappers which we are about to expose, well, now, if you are ready to see how Young Thug just exposed how all of his buddies are some of the biggest frauds in rap, and with this, we now definitively know that from him to lame old cupcake Drake, they are faking streams. Make sure to leave that like and subscribe because now really, there are going to be some major implications on this, especially for the loser who keeps whining that everybody else but him and his own side of people are faking numbers. And once again, make sure to leave that like because truly a box has just been opened that will never close, as within this moment, in all of this mess that is going on in what we are seeing as the rap game right now, well, once again, if you are here not to be Trap Lord Ross or Akademiks, but just want to see how all of this is about to affect hip-hop, well, over everything else, we have just found out something that, to be honest, well, from Young Thug's own desperation to the way he exposed information about rappers he doesn't like, but also ones that he is very close friends with. Well, listen, for all the fake con losers, this is really bad, and so many people are about to get in big time trouble for this. And what I will say, as these comments are really affecting everybody from Young Thug to Drake to so many other rappers, and well, as a result, Akademiks and other losers are trying to deflect these nasty things and put them on Kendrick Lamar. Well, I have to say, there really is just an issue around the information being presented and who people really want to put this blame on, so really make sure to leave that like so everybody can see what 100% is the truth here. And let's really just get into how we know that Drake is a bigger fake than ever, and so are all of his buddies. Which now with this is all coming from the audio drops that are coming from Young Thug's calls of when he was away, of course, and within this, well, from conversations with 21 Savage to comments about Gunna to so much else, well, we are really seeing a rare behind-the-scenes look for these rappers who hide behind these facades, where now in a rare moment, we are hearing from them without all the ego-boosting, faking, and just straight delusion. And now, speaking of faking, this is where things really start to get messy, and well, with Young Thug's calls, the music industry has changed forever in terms of us just knowing how bad these rappers and artists are really stat padding, which all came in a vocal clip where, first off, Young Thug was on the phone talking about how Gunna's DS Forever album got the #1 spot on the Billboard 200 over the weekend's Dawn FM record, and talking about this, he said when telling a story. Well, first off, this is important. Cash called me and said, which, just side note, Cash is the Weeknd's manager, and then Young Thug said, from here, the #1 album you had right now, I paid for you to have a #1 album. You didn't honestly earn a #1 album over the weekend. And then Young Thug went on to say that he never told Gunna any of that, and well, he admitted that he spent $50,000 getting streams for him. And with this, these are some big comments. And now, while with this alone, I guess you could try to write this off and say that he was trying to put Gunna down or act like he was really running his career or something along those lines. Well, beyond that, any of the loose ends that anybody could have about this stat padding streams were confirmed in another call that came out, where Young Thug found out that his 2023 album his business was at a risk of not reaching #1 on the Billboard 200 because of Morgan Wallen's numbers. And what he did here, well, while freaking out about this, he told his team to contact their fake streams plug. And let's just look at his words, which read, "You still got that plug, right? That stuff that we did with Gunna and them?" And now, making this all worse with what we have just read and found out, there is so much to take away here, but at the very core of this, what we have now seen is one of the quote-unquote leaders and superstars of hip-hop over the last decade just 100% show us that, well, from his own brand to his supporting artists there, well, the success that he has created is a mere illusion. And when you see how buddy-buddy Young Thug has been with Lil Baby, Drake, 21 Savage, and the rest of this crew, who would just pop up on the same albums over and over again and really just release the same song for years. Well, if you are a stan who is on this other side and watching this, I'm sorry, I have to break it to you. Well, when you look at what we know, a lot of these things are making sense. And now, going deeper, and when this comes back to people, especially like Drake, well, for the cupcake Karen, he is done. Because now what we are seeing, first off, Well, is that now Drake does have a portion of streams from an album where he has not one but two features and did have a key creative role on, seemingly. Well, where the numbers are fake and they were botted, and no matter what you want to say, in this time where everybody's yelling about what Kendrick did and they're trying to take him down and trying to say all these crazy things about his success, well, just to 100% know that some of the streams hanging around in Drake's catalog are fake. Well, I mean, there's nothing you could say to dispute this. We really do know that there are fake streams for 100% certainty in Drake's catalog. And now with this, between Drake having fake streams and this telling us that that feature stimulus package that they always said Drake had and made him so great and big for was never really because of his name, but it was because of bots and label machines, I mean, we are really finding out so much about the tricks that Cupcake Karen and all of his buddies used to really hold us in one of the worst eras for rap in the history of the genre. But now beyond this, what made this entire situation weirder and what really did feel like an admission of guilt just from the way that they spoke and treated this coming out? Well, came from none other than the door-dashing final boss DJ Akademiks. And now what Ak did that just seemed flat out suspicious and off, well, was use this reveal and major piece of info coming out by Young Thug to try and drag Kendrick Lamar back into this and say that these are the same tactics that Kendrick has been using and the games that he has been playing all along to have the greatest run we have seen in rap arguably ever and have one of the most dominant runs in terms of the numbers he has been putting up as a whole. And really listen, when I say that people including Ak are scared because their buddies are getting exposed and don't want more people to know the truth about the game and play that they have been running for years, this is absolutely what I am saying, because to deflect this info of two albums that feature Drake on them getting fake streams and even The Weeknd's manager being confused by it at first, well, to know all of this and suddenly say that the only rapper that Drake has said he still is really good friends with and that will always stand by is somehow moving just like Kendrick Lamar, although Drake has been in these same rooms, he is literally on these albums, and these fake streams also count towards his record. Well, listen, get off the chair, your DoorDash driver is here, you gotta go. And now while the Drake stans are trying to act like once again, an album with Drake on it from his best friend means that Kendrick Lamar is botting streams once again because Ak tried to deflect everything back to him because this is what these losers do. Well, listen, for the rest of us who are in reality, this has not just been the most suspicious proof we have found out about how fake the rule these losers had over rap for a time being was, but it really is showing that for Drake, and this is where it gets bad. Well, really, when you just look at everything and even see the way the numbers have flipped really since the lawsuit as a whole against him. Well, when you just see this and see how hard that the machine was pushing for Drake no matter what you did, which I think could be best remembered by the time where literally every single playlist possible on Spotify had Drake songs shoved into them no matter what the genre was and what they were doing. Well, really, the more we remember things like this and see how hard they were pushing Drake, although the music was not sticking after a while, and then you see what Young Thug is saying and really see how easy they make it to just lie and deceive to everybody. Well, to be honest, what I take from this is that we can really see how this whole group of Drake, 21 Savage, Young Thug, Lil Baby, and all of the rest of these losers, they've all been benefiting from the same plays and methods and with their quote-unquote success. Well, they've all been running plays with these stream farms like they are at a football game or something, and so now to just see the change in Drake numbers with this info being out there for us and even seeing how much Drake was a part of the entire creative direction for the Business is Business album, well, really, when you look at this thing in its proper context, it just becomes more clear that Drake will never escape the bot allegations no matter how much he and his big buddies like Ak try to deflect all of that. And well, just speaking of deflection from Ak and the rush to try and put this on Kendrick Lamar after all of their secrets got out, and well, again, just ask yourself who is featured on this record and who was involved in the rollout more than any other rapper. What I will say is that now as we are seeing how easy it is to fake streams for these top level artists, and everyone has their tinfoil hats on trying to spot who benefits from this and who uses it and who does not. Well, listen, what I really do think is going on here now, as we 100% know that Young Thug is faking streams, he's used it to fake Gunna streams, and Drake has also benefited from this, and so many other rappers as well. Well, first off, what you should see and remember when we just think about things that could be going on behind the scenes in the music industry that are being hidden is that literally these rappers are so chart obsessed and so into just chasing clout that when it comes to these numbers, they will shell out 50,000 or even more amounts of money just to try and create an illusion that they are doing better than they are, which literally is messing up the return on investment for a project. And when you just see what the rap game became and really look at all the problems that have lingered in the genre since this era where these guys kind of got in control and became stars, well listen, I'm going to be 110% honest. I think, and from what I do know, I do think aside from Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Tyler the Creator, every other star who is competing for top spots and who is on the charts in high places, they are running up bots more than they are actually running up and resonating with listeners. And to bring this full circle back to Drake, well, when you look back and see that he created this number obsessed culture, and with something like Act's response, well, he is the one riding on these claims to come out for Kendrick, and he can't get caught with any of these things whatsoever, because if the world sees how much of a liar and hypocrite he really is with 100% factual proof, well, then it will be all over. Well, really, over all of the crazy label antics and clear push that we have seen for Drake and so many other rappers when the demand was just not there for years. Well, listen, while we could have just left this as Young Thug exposed the entire industry for being losers, as we now have seen Act just try to take one of the biggest pieces of news that is exposing the industry firsthand from a rapper into something about Kendrick Lamar and not about the side of hip-hop that it's coming from. I don't have to say anything else. That tells you every single thing you need to know. And what I will leave you with is that really now, from all of these trash rappers who are a disgrace to the culture, from Jeffrey to Drake, I am sure that wherever they are hoping that more of this audio does not drop. Because if they were really this open about even saying all these things, you know that there is so much more going on that's way worse. And so now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about Young Thug exposing that he has been faking streams for himself, his friends, and how Drake is involved with this? And how deep do you think this rabbit hole goes? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all this. And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Well, if you want to see how in this time where so many different rappers are falling off, Lil Wayne just had one of the worst moments of his entire career, and he really may retire from rap after this, you're not going to want to miss this one. Check out the suggested video.